Now, US regulators are trying to block Microsoft from buying the firm Activision Blizzard.
The FTC suing Microsoft to officially block its planned deal with Activision. A former FTC chairman calling it the boldest step yet by the Biden administration against a planned merger. Raises all sorts of questions about the future of deal making.
There is a degree of uncertainty for gamers now over the next few months while this plays itself out.
You'd see some major developments here.
But Microsoft is not expected to go away quietly.
So this is about competition?
So here we are. Microsoft faces a ferocious battle against motivated regulators. The stakes are higher than ever before. But what if the deal fails or gets delayed considerably? Can Microsoft afford to stand still? The answer to that question is really obvious. Of course it cannot be paralyzed. Xbox has struggled and strived to get to where it's at, but every time it looks like the brand will finally dispel the curse of its inconsistency, it hits a stumbling block, usually of its own making. But Xbox fans continue to believe. Surely, deliverance of an incredible suite of AAA first-party experiences is near. But with Sony ruthlessly protecting itself by any means necessary, what will Xbox do and what can it do to fight back? Whilst the battle facing Microsoft in courts is not insignificant, the company has already confirmed that it will continue to acquire more studios and presumably publishers. Why would it not do so when the rest of the industry is heavy on consolidation? Rumors are now suggesting that Microsoft is seeking an acquisition that dwarfs even the ABK deal, and that is Netflix. I question whether Microsoft will want to do that right now, but as far as gaming is concerned, it can proceed in a couple of different ways. Firstly, it could go after a big publisher and benefit from their slate of IPs and possibly less pressure to manage the studios within it. Or it could be more tactical and go for smaller developers. But as far as publishers are concerned, which ones make the most sense? The rumor mill has always suggested the acquisition of this Japanese publishing outfit. At one time, people thought it was unfeasible because Sega Sammy had its gambling and pachinko business mixed with its gaming operations. But in 2021, Sega Sammy conveniently split apart its video game and amusement divisions. This makes it rife for the taking. Sega may not be the name it once was in the console space, but it's still significant, at least culturally and most importantly, in Japan. The Xbox division and Sega have a history right from the start, and it's a great fit that could finally shine a light on Xbox in Asia and bring with it one incredibly recognizable mascot. The biggest reason people doubt Sega's acquisition happening is because it's a Japanese company, and it being acquired by a Western outfit seems implausible to many.
And there's plenty of room for creativity to go around. And Microsoft is an ally of ours, and if this makes their business more powerful, we think that's good for us. I can't really predict what the regulators will do. We're certainly of the belief that it's a good thing for Microsoft and for the industry. We're in favor.
That was Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick defending Microsoft whilst being openly favorable to them in acquiring ABK and consolidation in general. And you know what would send shockwaves throughout the industry similar to ABK? The acquisition of Take-Two. The biggest reason why is Rockstar Games, arguably the most talented studio in the gaming space with one mega IP that has no comparison, Grand Theft Auto. Imagine if Xbox was the home of GTA. To this day, GTA 5 often tops or features prominently on sales charts, despite being 2 generations old. Rockstar may not put out many games that often, but when they do, everybody takes notice. But don't think Rockstar is the only attraction in acquiring Take-Two. The publisher comes with developer 2K, which has serious sports IP under its belt, as well as Zynga. The allure of the mobile market to Microsoft is substantial. But I think Xbox needs to branch out beyond the Western market and needs to really tap into the Japanese or Asian one. Square Enix and its Japanese RPGs are legendary, and those Japanese RPGs are a staple of Japanese gamers. For Microsoft, the gateway into entering the hearts and minds of those Japanese gamers is having these recognizable JRPGs on Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. They need not necessarily even be exclusive. As long as they appear on Xbox and Xbox can market these effectively, it would be a big deal compared to the current situation. Why do you think Sony continues to money hat these games, locking them off from Xbox entirely? We recently just found out from Microsoft's response to UK regulators that Sony enters into Xbox exclusion deals and Square Enix's Final Fantasy games are subject to them. PlayStation wants to kill off any chance of Xbox gaining any momentum in this market. This is a situation that Xbox should seek to change immediately. It may be tough though, as Square Enix and Sony have a very long history and therefore much more synergy with each other. I feel like Xbox and Square Enix for this reason would make an uncomfortable partnership. But what if there was a publisher and developer that has an allure not only in the East but also the West? What if it houses some of the most recognizable names in the gaming space and a legacy of classic dormant IPs that are demanded and highly sought after to this day? What if it was a publisher or studio that could potentially run itself and alleviate the management headache that Microsoft seems to struggle with? I believe such a publisher and studio exists, and most of you have probably figured it out. If it's possible to acquire it, it could be massively transformational to the Xbox brand. It makes complete sense to me. Think about all the regions this acquisition would cover. The range is almost global. Think about all the genres this would help Xbox in. Fighting games, horror games, action role-playing games, platformers, brawlers, and more. Ultimately, it's all about the games, and the prospect of unleashing all dormant and existing IPs held by this publisher, combined with the generous funding of Microsoft, could be a godsend for gamers. One can dream, but Microsoft could make it a reality. Capcom. Imagine the ramifications of this. And just Street Fighter alone. Xbox needs a fighting game, and the value of Sony's acquisition of EVA would be dented tremendously if Xbox owned Street Fighter. Imagine the chaos if Xbox made that IP exclusive to its platform. The Resident Evil games are massively popular and successful too, and we've seen the desire from fans for remakes of older games as well as the newer ones. Need I mention Dino Crisis? What about Mega Man, another legendary mascot? The Monster Hunter games are so successful that the profits that Capcom garnered from Monster Hunter World sales alone calls into question whether Capcom would even want to sell. Such large acquisitions, however, may not be feasible for Microsoft considering the regulatory scrutiny it's under at the moment. Microsoft should then focus on smaller studios. Asobo is regularly mentioned as a studio that should join the Xbox family. With the excellent Microsoft Flight Simulator and the critically successful A Plague Tale Requiem, the French game development outfit is obviously very talented. What about a Japanese developer? Team Ninja could be a good get, albeit with a niche market focus. Its games have fared well critically, and Wolong Fallen Dynasty looks set to continue that trend. With the recent breakout success of High on Life, there are calls by many Xbox fans for Squanch games to be acquired. Microsoft should be seeking to make these smaller, more tactical acquisitions, whilst it battles over Activision Blizzard King. Does Xbox need to acquire more studios in order to cater for a more global audience? I think so, particularly for the Japanese market. There is a big question mark, however, surrounding Microsoft's ability to assimilate studios into the Xbox Game Studio family effectively, and more crucially, to manage them. It's no mean feat. Xbox has been growing pretty fast in a short space of time since its 2018 expansion, but the results are not showing yet. 2023 is going to be a pivotal year where we should see a lot of fundamental questions answered, such as what Microsoft's first-party studios have been up to, whether Microsoft can conclude the acquisition of ABK in the year, and whether its first-party studios can deliver quality exclusives. Don't be surprised if we do see announcements of more acquisitions, but I imagine that whilst these may be negotiated in the background at present, their announcements will follow after the ABK deal gets done, if it gets done. The pressure continues to build on Xbox, so it will be intriguing to see how Microsoft tackles it. What do you think Microsoft's forward strategy will be? Let me know in the comments section below, and if you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.